Few days ago, Zelensky wrote a letter to Vladimir Putin requesting for the two of them to meet face to face, one on one, and discuss how to end this conflict between Ukraine and Russia. And Putin immediately rejected that request, describing it as being rude. He described the letter sent to him by Zelensky as being rude. And since then, the war has continued. And I'm beginning to think that Vladimir Putin should consider meeting Zelensky one-on-one to end this conflict. Vladimir Putin should keep pride aside. Vladimir Putin should think about it, should reconsider that request, because it's not helping. The conflict is not helping. And currently, things are getting worse on the side of Russia. Things are getting worse every day on the side of Russia. And I'm beginning to think that Russia should consider, or Vladimir Putin should consider meeting Zelensky. Because if they are waiting for the EU, they are waiting for NATO, if they are waiting for Donald Trump to end the war, to negotiate and end the war for them, they will wait and wait in vain. 2 days ago, Ukraine carried out their largest drone attack on Russia. In fact, this is the largest drone attacks on Russia. And they did not only attack Russia, but they targeted Moscow. Can you imagine? They went after Moscow, targeting oil refineries, Russia's important infrastructures. 4 airports were closed. This is the largest attack that Ukraine has ever. In fact, let me say NATO. Let me say NATO. If each time I talk about Ukraine, you should understand that I'm talking about NATO. This is the largest attack that NATO has ever carried out since this conflict started in 2022. And I've told you that recently NATO has stepped up. They have stepped up, and things are not going well with Russia. Let's stop pretending. Let's leave the hyping, the overhyping. Things are not going well for Russia at the moment, because if you compare how Russia was doing in this conflict to how they are doing currently, there's a big difference. A big difference. If you have been following, I know most of us have been distracted by this conflict between Iran, the United States, and Israel. Most of us are not following, or we are not following what is happening between Ukraine and Russia. We have been focusing more on this conflict between Iran, the United States, and Israel. But trust me, recently, NATO and Ukraine have stepped up big time. They have stepped up. And Russia is getting exhausted. Now, when Ukraine carried out these attacks few days ago, where was their air defense? Where was it? Because Ukraine continued to hit at multiple oil refineries and infrastructures. At the same time, 500 drones were used on this attack. 500 drones. This was the largest drone attack carried out by NATO and Ukraine. And you say you don't want the war to end? Donald Trump came out during the G7 summit in France, which ended 2 days ago. And Zelensky was present in that summit. I don't know if Zelensky went there to ask for more money or weapons to continue the conflict, or he really went there to ask for help or for advice how to end the war, or he went there to beg Donald Trump and some of the European leaders to help negotiate and end the conflict. I don't know, because today Zelensky will say one thing, the next minute he's saying another thing. But Zelensky was there licking asses, and Donald Trump claimed that Russia and Ukraine are just destroying themselves, which is true. That's a reality. And nobody is going to help them. Donald Trump said they don't know what to do. in order to end the war. This is what Donald Trump said during the G7 summit. He said Vladimir Putin and Zelensky need help because they don't know what to do to end the conflict between Ukraine and Russia, which is true. So why don't you end the conflict? You, Donald Trump, since you claim you are the God of the world, you are the police of the world, the Mr. Nobel Peace Prize, why don't you negotiate and end the conflict between Ukraine and Russia? If you think they don't know how to end the war and they really want to end it, why don't you negotiate and end the war? Because the European leaders cannot do anything. NATO cannot do anything. NATO is the one fighting against Russia. So it is high time Vladimir Putin calm down, keep pride aside, keep arrogance aside, and listen to Zelensky and meet with Zelensky to negotiate. Because their citizens are the ones dying. Their infrastructures are being destroyed every day. Billions of dollars are being wasted. In this conflict, nobody is going to help them. So it's not going well with Russia currently in this conflict. It's not going well. And it's because of Vladimir Putin. He's too slow. He was playing, romancing Ukraine and NATO. And look at what they are doing to him right now. Look at what they are doing to him. He should have learned from Iran. He should learn some things from this war between Iran and the United States. He should learn from Iran. Get some advice from Iran if he doesn't want to end the war. But I think it's high time. No need to be destroying properties and lives because it's not going to take them anywhere. But what do you think? What do you know? What have you heard? What do you think can be done to end this conflict between Ukraine and Russia? Let me hear your own opinion in the comment section. And remember to like, comment, and share this video. And if you find this video informative, like, comment, and share it with your loved ones. I look forward for my next update. God bless you.